So today I'm going to talk about how to preempt those January blues. You might not all get them, of course, but I definitely feel a bit low in January. So, I think there is this rhythm, isn't there? In December, it's non-stop, whether it's work, non-stop flurry of work, life laundry, just getting everything done and ready and all that kind of stuff. And then maybe we collapse after Christmas, unless you're the one that is doing everything. Personally, I think Christmas holidays is always busier than any work week. Then January hits with a cocktail of potentially grey skies, maybe a tighter waistband, though we shouldn't care about that. Ambitious resolutions, and this quiet dread of like, what happened to new year, new you, that version of me, and also where did my enthusiasm for that go? So I think January can feel very heavy because everything arrives at once. The weather, maybe the overdraft, dark days. I'm definitely a summer baby, so I'm much happier in the summer. So anyway, that's why this year I am not going to wait for January to start again, or to really, I'm not waiting until then to kind of do something about it. I'm going to preempt any January blues that might be heading my way, or at least stave them off at the pass. So if you want to soften that landing too, then start easing into the new year now, gently, intentionally, long before the champagne or any sparkling apple juice corks pop. So here are some practical ways that I think I'm definitely going to be trying to preempt the blues. Number one is to plan something future focused before the holidays. So, excuse me, that could be a course. I am signed up for cybersecurity, amongst other things, a workshop, a networking chat, a project, a curiosity, an exploration, something that you're interested in. Having something energizing waiting for you in early January changes the emotional weather, I think. Number two, do a light reflection now, not later. So it doesn't have to be heavy. What worked this year? What drained you? What felt exciting? It doesn't have to be a dramatic life audit, although if that's what you fancy, do it. Small clarity can really help big overwhelm. So I find this works best over a meal with a loved one outside of the house, so it's not you doing the cooking. So number three, make January more spacious, or certainly the early January, first 2 weeks. Avoid loading that first couple of weeks with pressure. Ease yourself back in rather than launching into that whole new year, new you mentality. Number four is to reconnect. I talk a lot about reconnecting with your network, so reconnect rather than reinvent. So reach out to 2 or 3 people in December, ask for perspective, not opportunity. Don't reach out to them because you want something, but just ask for perspective. A warm conversation in January can feel like sunlight, can't it? I think we all need to get together and like moan a bit and then own. Those knitting circles called stitch and bitch. You kind of need that. So I think actually, get together. So in fact, I think I'm going to try and make as many of those conversations outdoors, maybe walking the dog, so that you get the fresh air even better. Excuse me. I've got this 100-day cough or whatever it is. Number five, choose a skill to grow. Don't make it a resolution. I think resolutions, we all know that they're sort of guilt magnets. Oh, I haven't been practicing the piano, da. But skills are momentum. That's why I love courses, because you turn up even if you don't want to, and you learn something. So pick something tiny and enjoyable. Pick something big that's always going to be, that you just think is a big challenge, whatever. So I think curiosity really is a wonderful way to get into the new year. And number 6, last but not least, is give yourself permission to rest now. You know, rest in December, it's not indulgent, is it? I mean, chance would be a fine thing, maybe some of you are thinking, but I do think it's strategic. January looks different when your nervous system has exhaled. That is, if a nervous system can do that. I don't think it can actually exhale, but you know what I mean. So finally, don't frame January as a cliff edge. It's not necessarily a restart. It's simply the next page in a story that you're already writing. You know? So instead of waiting for motivation, excuse me, I'm really sorry, guys. Instead of waiting for motivation to appear on the 1st of January, create small momentum now. Nothing dramatic, no spreadsheet of promises to your future self, just 1 or 2 intentional steps that give January a shape, a spark, a sense of welcome. Because when you enter the year with purpose, not panic, there's far less room for those blues to settle in. So start gently now. Future you will be grateful. All right, and breathe. Take care.